Welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to be diving into this chapter with you today. Have you ever wondered how to actually build an AI that understands your specific, unique world? Well, you are definitely in the right place. We're going on a really exciting journey today. We are taking artificial intelligence concepts straight out of the textbook and applying them to a hands-on, real-world project. By the end of this, we're going to break down exactly how you can create a localized AI assistant completely from scratch.
So here's our quick roadmap for the explainer. We'll kick things off by understanding artificial intelligence, then look at how machine learning actually works. After that, we get to the fun part, building your AI assistant. We'll also cover safety and sensitivity, and finally wrap up by mapping out your project's algorithm. Let's just jump right in.
Section 1. Understanding Artificial Intelligence. From human minds to machines. To really get what AI is, we kind of have to look at our own brains first.
Think about how we define intelligence. Basically, it's the ability to learn and then use what you've learned in totally new situations. It's a dynamic thing, right? Human intelligence isn't just frozen in place. It keeps growing. The more we deal with unfamiliar situations, the more our intelligence actually expands. We adapt, we pick up on patterns, and we apply what we already know to solve tomorrow's problems.
But that brings up a really fascinating question. If our human intelligence relies on experiencing and adapting to life, how in the world do machines become intelligent? How do we take a literal box of wires and code and give it that exact same ability to learn? Well, that right there is the core of AI, and it's a field moving so fast that things we thought were science fiction a few years ago are just everyday reality now.
To really wrap our heads around this, the chapter uses this brilliant analogy: the first day of school. Imagine walking into a brand new classroom. You're meeting dozens of new people all at once. Your brain is desperately trying to remember their faces and names, but unless you have a photographic memory, you're probably not going to remember the whole shebang on day one. But give it a few days of hanging out and chatting, and your brain starts connecting the dots. Soon, you know everyone's name the second you see them. AI works in a very similar way. It absolutely needs repeated interactions and lots of examples to successfully recognize and categorize things.
Which brings us nicely to Section 2, how machine learning works, or more specifically, how we actually teach these computers to see.
So we teach machines by feeding them data, lots of data. If we want an AI to recognize a banyan tree, for example, we don't just show it one single picture. We bombard it with data. We upload a ton of varied images, a banyan tree in the shade, one in bright sunlight, maybe as a tiny sapling, from different angles and from different parts of the world. We make absolutely sure the machine has the most data possible on what a banyan tree looks like, and we carefully tag all those images with the label banyan tree.
And you know, this perfectly shows why having varied data is so absolutely crucial. Imagine a perfectly ripe, flawless yellow mango, sitting right next to a spotty, kind of greenish yellow one. If you only ever showed your AI that perfect mango, it might look at the spotty one and say, nope, not a mango. But by showing it both and labeling both as mango, the AI learns the real-world parameters of the fruit, spots, imperfections, and all. By providing all these multiple variations, different shapes, sizes, slight color shifts, the machine's image recognition gets incredibly smart. Slowly, as you upload more data and link it to a name, the machine is engaging in machine learning. It starts recognizing images it has literally never seen before because it finally understands the underlying patterns. And then you can add even more context, like scientific names, where it grows, or what it's used for, making your AI exponentially more helpful.
Okay, Section 3. Building your AI assistant, welcoming a newcomer. This is where it gets super fun, because we get to apply all this theory to a tangible, hyper-local project.
To build a local AI, you have to become the researcher. Just like a student scanning a fruit stall to gather information, you need to step out into your neighborhood. Grab a camera or a smartphone and start collecting the visual data that makes your specific environment completely unique. And hey, if you can't go out, you can always search for highly relevant local images on the internet instead.
Now, to make this AI genuinely useful for someone who just moved to your town, you need to categorize your data. The chapter suggests some awesome categories to start with. Think about popular local food and snacks, native plants, trees, animals, even cultural stuff like traditional dance, music, or cool tourist spots. You can even train it on local communication, like teaching it to recognize and respond to local greetings. Say, Julie in Ladakh or Johar in Jarsunk. How cool is that? Building a local AI isn't just some textbook exercise. It's a way to preserve and celebrate your own culture using cutting-edge tech. Plus, you can split this up.
Different groups can tackle different categories to build one massive, rich data set together.
But wait, before we rush outside snapping photos, we need to cover Section 4, Safety and Sensitivity First. This is all about being a good digital citizen.
The really important takeaway here is that great technologists are also responsible citizens. When you're out in the field collecting data, there are some very clear do's and don'ts. Always get permission before taking a photo. If you want a shot of a local shop, just ask the shopkeeper first. Be respectful of customs you might not fully understand, and make sure you aren't trampling plants or bothering animals just to get a good picture. On the flip side, don't walk into traffic because you're staring at your screen. Keep your physical safety in mind. And, as the text wisely reminds us, don't spend excessive time on screens. Too much screen time just isn't good for your mental or physical health.
Finally, Section 5, Mapping Your Project Algorithm, the pathway to success. Let's look at how all these pieces fit together into a solid plan. Every successful software engineer out there uses a blueprint. You can think of your algorithm like a winding road leading to success, because really an algorithm is just a step-by-step set of instructions to solve a problem. Just like driving down a road, you have to hit specific milestones in the exact right order to actually reach your destination.
The chapter breaks this journey down into 6 very actionable steps. First, you identify the goal of your AI and map out your categories. Second, you figure out your data buckets. Third is the legwork. You actually go out, collect, and organize that data. Fourth, you feed all those varied images into the system to train your model. Fifth, you test it. Show it some new images and see if it guesses correctly. And sixth, you share your masterpiece with the world.
And honestly, you don't have to stop at just basic recognition. The source material points out that once you have your base model, you can take it to the next level. By integrating it with tools like Scratch AI, you can actually add characters and animations. That's a real game changer. That is when you turn a simple data model into a genuinely fun, interactive guide that newcomers will actually love using.
So, we've covered the theory of machine learning, why varied data is everything, and the exact step-by-step roadmap to build a safe, localized tool. Now, I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. Look around your own street. Look at your own town. What are the hidden gems? What are the sights, the sounds, the specific greetings that truly define your home? What unique local data will your AI assistant use to welcome someone to your neighborhood? The tools are literally right in front of you. Now it's time to start building. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy learning.